Interesting. Oh, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna turn this. Oh man, I'm not sure to turn this light on real quick.
Why?
Fill in our faces a little bit more, so we look more lit.
Oh, dude, I'm so lit.
You're so lit. This is the most lit Uncle Mikki video.
Dude, you're lit and woke. I am awake. Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Slade is very wake.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you're asleep, sometimes you're woke.
Yeah.
Right now I'm woke.
But you're also lit.
Oh yeah, that's what started it all.
Yeah.
I got lit to be woke.
You got lit. Well, you were already woke, but then you got lit. All right, spooky of the week.
Spooky of the week. All things must end in November. The spooks must end in November. Spooky of the end.
The final spookening, which is hilarious because this is easily the spookiest of the movies that we watched.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, I would say so. I was the most scared.
I was the most scared too.
We can't both.
I was
the
most
aroused.
So anyway, we watched Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Yay! Kevin, what do you think of Father's Day?
Well, it was interesting.
There's a boy. Many years ago, he tried to kill the father. He left us a long time ago.
You know any dads go missing around here, motherfucker?
But this time, it's your own man.
You seen your dad burn to death in front of you?
What is the fuck, man? Father's Day killer, cannibal man killer. None of those damn reporters can give it any name they want. But I got my eye on you and the degenerate sister of yours, Chelsea. So you tell her I said hi. You must find this man, Ahab. Not dead! You must find him.
Father of Flint sent me, and I've traveled across the world to speak to you.
I hurt a lot of people in my life, Father. I don't want to hurt anymore.
I prayed every night that you would come and find me, but you never did.
I don't want you putting your life on the line over some stupid vendetta for the Father's Day killer.
Why not? You did. And I'm gonna finish what you couldn't.
Let's tear this place apart!
End this tonight.
It says that he that sees but one path shall stand in the way of the Fuckmanicus. Why? There's no time to explain.
Oh, glory to the Fuckman.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. So Father's Day is a indie, schlock horror.
It's a trauma
comedy
film.
movie. Well, what?
It's a trauma film.
A trauma?
Trauma.
Oh.
They made
like
they made a Toxic Avenger and all that.
Yeah.
Really trashy horror.
Yeah.
No rules.
But it knows how trashy it is. Like the whole joke behind it is that it gets how dirty and like grimy the genre is, so it pushes the envelope as far as it can.
Yeah.
Which is a dangerous place to be. I will say that movies like this can easily fall down. Like it's very easy to just be bad under the guise of we were trying to be bad.
Sharknado. Just things like that where it's just like, oh. Like the bad movie tastes better when you know they really tried.
Yeah, so when you know that they knew that they were making a bad movie, it's kind of like, oh man, who knows what's gonna happen
Samurai
here.
Cop 2. I suggested it because I saw this group of filmmakers. There's like 6 of them, and they make a bunch of weird crap. And I saw their movie Manborg way back when in high school, and I was like, Manborg's great. And then I heard they made this movie Father's Day, and I heard from like some podcast that they saw it, and I was like, oh. I should see that, like if that's like another movie they made. So yeah, and I suggested it without having seen it or anything.
Yeah.
I just knew a few things, like there's dicks in it. It's
right.
bad.
There are both of those things are true. You have not said anything incorrectly yet.
I thought it was a wild ride.
Oh man.
Yeah, I would say it's a wild ride.
Yeah.
So
it's wild.
I went into it expecting nothing. Like you said that. Yeah, when you said that the guys that made Manborg made it, that meant nothing to me. I was expecting a shitty bad movie, and I got exactly that, and I loved it. I thought it was great. It was gross in the best ways. It has some flaws, like we'll get into it, but I definitely have problems with it. But I really liked it, and
It's too long.
Oh yeah, it should be way shorter. Right?
Shorter.
well, there's I
Like,
mean,
Manborg's an hour and 15 minutes.
I don't know like about the overall length. There are just parts in my head that move way too slowly, and there are also jokes that get dragged on for way too long. It's like, all right, that wasn't really that funny when you first said it, and it's still not funny. Overall, I really liked it. It's gross. It's wacky. Since seeing it, I've also seen Manborg, and I liked it better than Manborg.
Remember that part when they get... Okay, so there's a villain, right? His name's Fuckman.
His name is Chris Fuckman.
Yeah.
That is
Which
actually his name.
I'm trying, like, is that supposed to sound like Chris Stuckman, or is that just
There's no
coincidental?
way. Yeah, it's got to be coincidental because that came out in 2011, and he didn't really get popular until 2012. I didn't think anything really. I'm having a hard time finding words, and I watched it in public because it was on my phone and it was at school.
Why? You were just at school? You didn't...
There are definitely
I was at school, dude.
There are definitely frames where people could have easily thought that you were watching gay porn.
Yeah.
Full scenes.
Fat, bloody, gross, gory gay porn.
I wouldn't say it was one of those things where if someone had maybe walked by and caught a glance, they might have thought something bad about it. I think it was more of a, if they stayed and watched for the entire movie, they still would have thought that.
Yeah.
But I found a spot. I found a sweet spot where I was safe, and I kept walking around and moving. I'm not even kidding. I was like, "Oh no, it's too quiet in here." They'll hear, "Ah! Ah!
Oh, you didn't
God!"
have headphones?
No, dude. It was on,
Oh my
It
god.
was on my phone, dude.
Played it in public from your phone
No
speakers?
Nah, dude. Because I mean, I have my headphones like for my iPod and stuff, but the phones, but nowadays have different
Oh my
different
God.
jacks.
Oh, yeah.
So-
you haven't gotten new headphones? Like, they...
No, I have 'em, I just don't have them in me. Like,
I was very confused at first. I was like, what's going on? It just opens up with guts, and like it's grossly lit, and
oh yeah.
and the fuckman is ripping guts out of this dead person. And then one of our protagonists, very, very aptly named Ahab,
Yeah. With an eye patch.
hunts him down and shoots him. And it's like, oh, it's
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, he shoots him. And I wasn't sold yet. I was like, all right, that's kind of...
That was really weird.
Yeah, I was like...
confusing.
I was like, I'm not sold yet.
You're not
This
sure
isn't...
what they're going for.
This isn't... Well, I knew what they were going for. I was like, I don't know if they've done it yet. Like, this opening scene hasn't gotten me. And then we get a setup to our second main character, or actually our second two main characters who meet each other. Both very, very gay. One's a teenager that's flamboyant. I don't remember his name.
One's a teenager who's openly gay, and the other one is a priest who
name's
is
Twink.
closeted.
Oh yeah,
How could you forget? Who has a friend named Walnut?
So brief premise, just like basically it's
Oh,
about
right.
it's just this guy, the fuckman. He's an evil person. He kills fathers, only fathers.
He kills and rapes.
He kills and rapes fathers.
That's his thing. He
That is
kills
his
and
thing.
rapes. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in the beginning, and I think I agree that if you cut a lot of the beginning, it would be way better, because there's a lot of like, all right, so there's the opening shot, and then you're introduced to new characters. You don't really care about them yet.
It definitely gets better as it goes. Like the end, like last 30 minutes is the best part.
And then Twink's father dies. He gets raped and murdered by the fuckman. And then there's an interview scene where they're like, did you kill your father? We know you hated him because you're gay, and he's not. And it's like, no, I love my father. And then there's a really gross scene where Twink sucks a dude's dick and then tries... I'm not making this up.
Yeah, we're not making this
After about a minute after meeting Twink, there's a scene where he sucks a dude's dick and then tries to steal his wallet, and then him and his friend Walnut beat the shit out of him because he realizes that he's getting robbed. And so all this happens, and then you're reintroduced to Ahab, and you're just so all this shit's happening, and it's too much. It's way too much. Mm-hmm. It's very boring.
You're introduced to like a rivalry between like the main cop guy and Ahab, and like it's like the stereotypical like last time you're here, fathers ended up raped.
Yeah, and
I don't remember the exact line, but it's a great line where he's just like, He's like, what is it with you, Ahab? Every time I see you showing up, fathers end up getting raped.
and they're both kind of like accusing each other. It's like, oh, if you didn't put me behind bars,
Like, it's
I
in
could have
every-
hunted down the fuckman.
It's in every crime movie where that kind of thing happens, where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're a loose cannon, or like, no, you don't do this, and like, oh, I know you're up to something, I don't trust you.
What I was saying earlier with like jokes that go on for too long. One of them that's introduced once you're reintroduced to Ahab after like the intro, is I guess he makes syrup now.
Yeah.
And the funny part of the syrup joke is not the part, because like the joke that just keeps getting repeated is that he makes syrup and he loves syrup. But the funniest part of the joke is it happens when they first do it, when they're like, "Oh, you're making syrup," and he's like, "Yeah, I love syrup. These maple trees give the best syrup." And the priest is like, "Oh, these aren't maple trees." So that part of the joke's funny, but then they just keep repeating that he's in love with syrup for some reason, and it's really not that funny after the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But then around the midway point, there is the scene that completely sold me, and I was in love with it from the rest of it. All of our main characters are starting to converge.
Yeah, like Twink's there, Ahab's sister is there.
Who's a stripper.
Yeah.
Every female character in this movie gets her tits out.
And every male character in this movie gets his dick out.
Wait, does Ahab get his dick out?
I assumed so in like the sex scene or something.
Oh, I don't think
But you
Ahab
didn't see it.
does
No,
get his dick out.
No, dude, you don't.
But yeah, they're all hanging out, and like Twink's friend, what's his name, Walnut or whatever?
Walnut, yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about how his girlfriend just said she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I can't believe I got my girlfriend pregnant. And they're like, he's like complaining about it and stuff.
It cuts to a shot of the fuckman eating Walnut's dick off.
Yep. He had just become a father too. Like he had just like his like immediately as him talking about, oh man, my girlfriend got pregnant.
And then from that moment on, I was sold. I loved that. There's also a really funny conversation that happens immediately after that, because Ahab comes to the apartment and they're like, all right, we need to hunt down the fuckman. And then the sister's like, great, can I come?
He's like, I'm going in alone.
And then Twink says, oh, can I come? And he's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah, that was great.
There's a bunch of stuff like that where the jokes really do land, and it's really funny. And I the reason I think I like it so much is because those moments make up for the slow parts. Like once that.
Well, see, something that this movie has and Manborg has is like they know they're making a bad movie, but they're so good. Like they've seen it feels like they've seen so many bad movies that they know like how a bad movie plays out.
Yeah.
Like you see scenes like that in bad movies where it's like it completely contradicts itself immediately in one scene.
Yeah.
Where like you could see that being a line in a bad movie because it's just poorly written. Like that's how Manborg is. Like it's just like the part in Manborg when his brother shows up at the end and he's like, "Hi, it's me, your brother, the one that died in the beginning." It's like you wouldn't have like in no movie would you remind the audience of that, but it's like, well, the audience doesn't remember, so I'm gonna tell them. Like a bit before it ends, like maybe like 40 minutes before it ends, they get the fuckman. They get him.
They get him pretty easily and murder him.
Yeah, and they murder him, and it's like, oh yeah, it's over.
I want to talk about the car chase, because that car chase, it's cool because it's like all the actors are jumping in between cars. Like there's no cutaway. There's no like, oh yeah, they did this to try to save the actor. It was like, okay, if they messed up this shot, that guy would die. Twink would be dead. That actor would not be alive anymore.
He went from one car into another car.
So there's this lame but kind of awesome car chase, and it ends with a car exploding on a green screen.
Yeah.
Then one of my favorite shots in the entire movie happens, and I think it's just stock footage. But they're like, we have to get out of here because Ahab gets wounded. They're like, we have to get out of here. It's dangerous out here, and it just cuts to a shot of a bear. Yeah, then there's a lot of just like in between those parts, there's a lot of kind of just scenes that you don't care about too much. There's a lot of just like gross. I mean, they do the thing where it's like, all right, we're gonna be as gross as we can to be disgusting.
It's definitely not a movie for the faint of heart.
No.
It is,
There's one part that particularly got me.
Is it the?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
I was sitting there, I'm like,
I mean, the movie has, like, for what it is, it has really good special effects.
no, it does have some awesome special effects. I was sitting there, I was like, no, I look that looks like the one where he cuts down on the
Oh yeah.
on the chick's eye. I'm like, Fuck,
It
that
has
looked
really,
cool.
really good I mean, I said this in the Void review. Like one of my favorite parts about the Void was how great
Some of the same
effects were.
filmmakers.
Yeah, well, we talked about that in the Void review, which
did.
you can check. Link.
I remember that.
You know, it's I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm really lazy. I'm probably gonna forget to put a link there. But if you look maybe on the side, I think it's on this side. It might be on that side. It might be in
Wait,
recommended
if you're looking
videos.
at that way, then it
Right,
should, then
it's over there.
it'll be over there.
It's
yeah.
It's not going to be there. It's going to be the Rogue One. Review,
It's gonna.
and it's going to be the Logan.
Then it's gonna
review or something,
screen.
and then it's going to be nothing else from
It's
us.
gonna be the Rogue One review. Maybe if we're really lucky, please subscribe. And then Screen Junkies or a CinemaSins video.
And then way down, like second to the bottom, is like the Handmaiden or something.
Yeah, but yeah, they both have really good practical special effects, and it's real gross.
Something grosser about it being like these like rubbery special effects, you know,
Yeah.
just makes it worse.
Well, because like
for some reason.
in that shot that Kevin's
Yeah.
talking about, like it's this gross shot of the fuckman just holding his dick, which
Sticks a needle in it.
and
and
he's
then
just
after he
cuts
takes it out, the juice that he stuck in his dick shoots out a
Which,
little.
none of this is implied. It leaves nothing.
No,
to the
No. There's
imagination.
no
All there.
imagination. Like it
Full
makes
view.
it makes Saw 7 look like
Well
it's
lit.
up to the imagination.
A 7.
So the movie gets spectacular, at least in my opinion. When Fuckman's dead, and everybody's gonna go in their separate ways. but Ahab's hot sister, gets possessed by the Fuckman or something like that, and shows up at her brother's house, Ahab, guy with the eye patch, and is like trying to seduce him, and you're like, this is really weird, because they're brother and sister.
Their brother
Yeah.
and sister.
And they totally just bang.
And
Oh,
then
yeah,
they
and
just have sex.
it's a
rigorous sex.
It's also a really funny scene, like just how it plays out, because at first Ahab's a little hesitant.
He's not hesitant enough.
Even from the beginning,
He's like, "No, you're my
he is
sister."
not hesitant really that much at all.
He's like, come on, we're brother and sister, we can't
but-
do this. And then they
yeah.
bang for like it's like a 5-minute sex scene.
Oh,
It goes
yeah.
on
Yeah,
forever.
it goes on for a long time.
And you're just like, they're brother and sister. No.
I mean, that
Like,
goes.
why do you have to make it so long? Old boys was shorter.
It goes back to they know what makes a bad, like what's in a bad movie and like how to make a bad movie, because that's something that happens in bad movies all the time, where it's like, we're gonna have this super long sex scene, it's gonna be really uncomfortable, the actress doesn't look like she wants to be there.
Her having sex with her brother, or having like the Fuckman having sex with Ahab, like is gonna enact this like ritual that's gonna bring him back or something like that. And it's this big old thing, and all he had to do to prevent it was not have sex with his sister. And there's a great scene after that where they like the priest guy and Twink come in. They're like, all right, we read this in this like old, Evil Dead book that says,
Yeah,
this is what the Fuckman's gonna try to do, and he's gonna try and get you.
It's the fuckonomicon.
and he's gonna try have sex with you, and that's all. And she's possessed. We know this. So you didn't have sex with her, did you? Like that. That's all it has. Like that's all you had to do.
And he gets he's like, real talk
Yeah,
right
he's like,
now, Ahab. Did you
she
do
try-
anything with your sister?
Like, did she try to seduce you? Because that's what she's gonna try to do. And he's like, no, we just hung out. We just hung
We
out.
just hung out. Talked.
I mean,
she didn't try to hurt me or anything.
He pretty much even goes like high-pitched voice, and he's like, no!
We just tried to. You were hung
No,
out.
why would we do that?
And it's just this like it's just a long shot of all of them, and Ahab's back is to the camera. Like you don't see his face, and just the whole time they're just like, all right, well that's great. I mean, like of course, like why would you have sex with your sister? Like it's great you avoided that and saved the world. And like just a long pause, and it's just like, well, we might have fooled around.
We fooled around a little bit. And they're like, oh my god.
And just in that moment, she's like, he could have prevented everything just by not having sex with
Yep.
his sister. Like that's all it is. That's
But
all
then-
it would have taken.
Then that scene paves the way to one of the best endings in cinema history. So they devise a plan to go to hell and to kill the Fuckman in his home.
Yeah, stop it from happening entirely.
And so to do that, they all shoot themselves.
They're all just like, and like I love that scene because they're just like they're being like babies, like not like babies about it, but like they're not doing it like, oh, this is really serious, like we're gonna kill themselves. It's like they're like, oh, let's all do it at the same time. It's like, so you guys don't pussy out.
It's like, you're gonna pussy out. I know you are.
You're gonna do it.
Like honestly, once like by the time they all shot each other, I was just like, oh my god.
So they all have
this
these
is
like
crazy.
separate adventures in hell. Like they all have to like get through like their own level of hell, kinda, and then they all converge.
Yeah, it works.
Whatever.
At
They
that
defeat-
point, you're not questioning
Yeah,
anything.
I mean, I was like, whatever. They defeat the Fuckman.
Yeah, they do it.
And he goes, ah!
It's like, how do they do it? They just do it. They do it.
Turns into a baby, and then...
so Ahab's sister, being kidnapped and just dragged to hell, is released. She gets to go back up to Earth because she's been saved.
But
and then,
she wasn't murdered, dude.
And then
she wasn't killed.
Everyone else is like, yeah, we defeated the fuckman. This is great.
And they're like, how do we get back home from hell? And like, if we just believe hard enough, we'll do it. And they just sit there and have like one of those moments where you're like, oh yeah, in a movie they believe hard enough. Yeah, and a tear drops on them or something.
Yeah,
and then they do that, and then nothing happens.
And then it just cuts back to their rotting corpses.
They're just dead, like gross, rotting corpses on the table. And it just pans out, and the credits start.
And that's it.
It's like they killed themselves.
It is so great.
Yeah.
Final thoughts. Rough start. Good rest of it. If any of that sounds enticing to you, if you like bad movies, like that, just wild things, like if you're like, it's like Evil Dead.
If you want something gross,
like that, just like weird, gross.
I would say if you really love Evil Dead, you will also like this. It's like the same kind of like just gross humor, really dark.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very disgusting. I'm talking the Evil Dead specifically.
It definitely has its rough. patches.
Tree raping and like.
Yeah.
And
all
like.
That.
It definitely has some rough patches. It's not as consistently funny as I would like it to be. There are definitely jokes that completely fall.
Yeah, I would say there is a better movie in there that can be edited out.
Definitely.
Like there's enough there to make an even better movie. It's just there are some things holding it back. Yeah. I think.
So anyway, that marks the end of Spooky of the Week. Our 2017.
It was very spooky as you heard us talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the spookiest movie of the year?
Well, I mean,
wait, of the year or of what we saw?
Well, we only watch spooky movies in Spooky of the month.
Yeah, we.
Well, no, but I thought you meant just in general.
Spookiest movie of the year, and the only spooky movies that we saw, we watched in the month of Spook. I would say that I think that The Void was the spookiest movie of the week.
I mean, pure spook factor, I'd say Blackcoat's Daughter is probably the spookiest. Pure spook factor.
For spook specifically, yeah, I'd agree with that. Blackcoat's Daughter.
So for next week, your guys' suggestions are all themed, and it'll be very easy to spot what the theme is, and I'm definitely locking you guys into a corner because
it's all good, dude.
No matter what, the video will be a specific thing, and it is DC movies.
Bring it on.
All right, so our options are Batman versus Superman.
Dawn of Justice. Don't forget the whole
Dawn
title.
of Justice. Why is it so many words?
Have you not seen that yet?
No, no.
That's the
Suicide Squad. And then the one to round it out.
I would love to just rewatch that.
The one to round it out will be, I don't think this one's going to get voted for, but Superman, Dawn of Justice or whatever.
Man of Steel, Dawn of Justice 2.
So yeah, those are our three.
So I'm going to pick Batman vs. Superman because it's the most relevant.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you haven't seen it.
It'll be good.
And Alec, how could you see Justice League without seeing that?
Right.
You're not ready. You don't know.
Right. You don't know. You didn't see the vines that Wonder Woman saw.
Right. Did she watch Vines?
Well, she watched little MP4s on her laptop.
No. Yeah, he will see. He will see. There's no way he can watch the movie and not see.
That can even be a movie that we all watch together. We don't have to bring like.
That would be great. We could watch the Ultimate Edition.
Oh man, can we set aside 5 hours to watch that?
It's not that long.
30 minutes more.
Is it 30 full minutes?
God,
no way.
3 hours, dude.
This final episode of Spooky of the Week was brought. Kevin, what were we brought to you by?
Oh, we were brought to we were brought to you by
we were brought to you by clothing.
This week we were brought to you by clothing. Sam Slade. The other day I was wearing my clothes and I was clothed.
Wow. Sometimes I wear a shirt and sometimes I wear pants.
Sometimes I don't wear any clothes but underwear.
Are there times when you're wearing pants or not wearing pants and you wish you were doing the opposite of what the thing you were doing? Wearing pants or not?
What does that mean?
You should wear pants.
So
Buy
yes,
your clothes today.
Buy clothes from
check out
Clothes.
clothing today. Use our coupon code Uncle Mickey for 90% off your purchase.